how to launch and market fast. So this is a common thing as talked about, that figuring out, okay, so first off, you have to figure out how to launch your product and then market your product, but then gather enough data so you're making proper decisions when bringing on marketing, because not all marketing is the same. Marketing is so segmented. And so here's the move that I use, and I've used over and over again to great success to at least get me started. So it starts off with, I'm sure you've all seen this. This is the innovation adoption curve. Okay. So innovation, adoption curve. And the reason that people fail at marketing is because what happens is they target the wrong people first. That's the number one reason that people fail to launch their product. So if you look back here, these are the late adopters. And you can tell the late adopters because by the way they adopt technology in certain industries. So for example, when it comes to phones, I am a late adopter. I'm still on iPhone 10. Like I'm always like, 3-4 versions
I'm on
behind.
8.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
on 8.
So you're a late adopter, or you're actually considered a laggard when it comes to iPhones.
Ouch.
So that's the thing. So don't come and market your new phone to me. Like I'm the last person that you should be trying to sell your phone to. Okay. So what you do is you figure, okay, so first off, here you are, Craig, and you are the innovator. Okay. It's a very small portion. I can't remember. It's like 1.5 or 2.5%. It's a very small portion. So the goal is to sell into this next section, which are the early adopters. Okay, so case in point, I have a product that I've been incubating, side product. It's a game, a card game with blockchain, NFTs, things like that. I invited a whole bunch of people who like trying new games. I did not try and, sell it to people or invite people to try it who are like used to their old, who never try new games. You just know there are people who always try new games. I'll try a new game. I'll try a new game. And so we invited that. And we have these conversations all the time and we break down our market. So I got 2 kids working for me. They were the early adopters and I hired them. And I said, now find other friends like you. So how can we reach people like you? And, all I did is make a list. And you kind of know and get to know as soon as possible. The list is, who are the early adopters? Who are the people in my world that will just try something new because they like me and they're used to trying new things? Early adopters are people on Kickstarter and crowdfunding platforms. Those are all early adopters. And that's the reason that the innovators do really well on crowdfunding campaigns, because they're reaching these early adopters. And then here is the early majority. Do not sell to the early majority until you got some things figured out. But if you really wanted to get pedantic about this, the early majority is where you actually do official marketing. Here is sales. So what I do is I make a list and I just call them. I email them, and it's just hand-to-hand combat to get the first thing. So I've got another founder who's launching an app, and I said, how many are on your list? And he said, I've got 38. I said, how many do you want as your first thing? He said, I want 20. I said, you're gonna need 200. Figure out a way to contact 200 early adopters. And so he put out this thing out on a sort of a discussion board, and he put, new MVP launching, I need early testers. like very clear, because you're going to get really crappy feedback if you get the early majority or the late majority, this is late majority on testing your app. You don't want them on your newfangled Dazzle app. So what you do is you make a list and then you gather your data on that list. So for example, I'll just go out and I'll post and I'll say, who wants to try this new thing, in whatever community, and then I'll get feedback from them. But the secret is get the early adopters because they give the best feedback. They're open. You don't have to, twist their arms and chase them down to start using your product. So let me just reiterate, follow the innovation adoption curve. You are the innovator. Target your early adopters by making a list and then gather data as they use that list. That is by far the fastest way that you can launch a product and get an idea of how to start marketing that product.